Joining me now is Jennifer Gauthier, the Vice Chair of the Niagara Poverty Reduction Network. Jennifer, has your organization had a chance to meet in the last couple of weeks?
We have not been able to gather because of the restrictions on group meeting, but we've been communicating lots through email and just trying to look at the issues that are going to affect those living in poverty here in Niagara.
Now, what are some of those concerns?
Well, of course, our concerns are housing, income security, access to health care, and all of those things that typically are faced by people living in poverty, but this is going to be an extra strain on our community.
Now, you had an information session for Tenants Rights, I believe, scheduled for March 27th in Welland. Has that been rescheduled?
We will look at scheduling all of our events going forward. We also had a film being hosted at the PAC Center in St. Catharines, and we're not able to do that as well. So there are some things that the Niagara Poverty Reduction Network had planned, but we will make sure that we continue to offer these programs in the future when we're able to gather again.
Is there anything from that session that maybe you'd like to pass along to our viewers today?
Well, I think it's just really important to know that you have rights as a tenant, especially given the current situation with COVID-19 and the things that the government has put in place to assist people living in poverty and helping them to maintain their housing. So I would encourage them to reach out to the Niagara Legal Clinic for help if they have questions.
Now, recently there was a rise in the number of evictions. Is there a fear that that number will go even higher as we come out of this shutdown with so many people being laid off?
There is definitely a fear of that. So the government is saying that people aren't allowed to be evicted because they can't pay rent right now. And I've seen some landlords suggesting that people are able to pay rent divided over a couple of months moving forward. However, if you're already living in poverty and the portion of your rent is more than 50% of your income, then that's not something that you're going to be able to manage moving forward. So there is a large risk that maybe not right now, but in the coming months ahead after this, that people might not be able to access the funds they need.
Now, the Niagara Poverty Reduction Network, how can they help people if they have questions or issues with renters?
So yeah, absolutely. They can reach out to go to our website and Wipe Out Poverty Niagara and send us an email, and we can connect them with the resources. There's also information on our website that they can access as well, but their local legal aid clinic should be able to help them with that information.
A little bit of a turn here, but the living wage had started to gain momentum in around the Niagara region. Do you feel like this event, this situation may kind of have an effect on that?
Yeah, we were really excited that the living wage was starting to pick up here in Niagara, and we had so many great businesses join us and others expressing interest. And with many of our businesses and small businesses having to close here in Niagara and facing their own economic hardships, this may not be something that they're not able to look at in the future. So I think that it may be something that could be affected for at least the next year.
So, Jennifer, is there anything that you'd like to get across to our viewers from the Niagara Poverty Reduction Network?
Well, I just really want to highlight that many people will be entering poverty that haven't been living in poverty at all, which will strain an already overwhelmed system. We're going to be looking at issues of housing, people trying to access shelter that aren't able to do so due to limited availability, and accessing our healthcare system as well, which is something that's difficult for those living in poverty. So there is going to be a strain, and if you can support any of your local organizations that are assisting these individuals in need, it would be greatly appreciated.
All right, Jennifer Gauthier, thank you very much for your time here today, and thank you for all the work you're doing across Niagara.
Thank you.